Hey guys, Chris from Bose Audio Installation, and today we're doing front door speakers on a 2016 Chevy Malibu. This is going to be a component set, so we're going to do our mid-range speaker in the door here, and our tweeter is actually in the A-pillar inside the car itself. So Bose Audio Installation channel is sponsored by NVX and Sonic Electronics. Get 10% off all speakers, amplifiers, wiring kits, and more with coupon code PBAI at NVX. Also get 5% off all car audio components at Sonic Electronics with coupon code PROVOBEAST. So first thing we're going to do here is pull off this door panel. This door panel has multiple hidden screws. There's going to be one back behind this little panel here. So using just a little teeny screwdriver, and I want to pop that out, and it's going to expose a 7mm there. There's a little rubber boot there at the bottom. Pull that out, and it's going to expose another 7mm. Once that's out, this little panel actually comes out as well. You can disconnect the harness, and then if you reach up underneath, there's one screw there at the bottom. Once that's all been pulled apart, then everything else with the door panel is actually just held on with clips. I recommend using a panel tool. So, here we are. Okay, so we've pulled out the factory speaker, unhooked the harness. Now you can purchase harness adapters, and I'll throw in the description the link and info on those harness adapters, but we're going to go directly to the harness. So we're going to cut this and strip the wires and put on our own ends, and I'll put the wiring harness color information also in the description for your assistance. Once that speaker is out, we've got our new speaker ready to go. We have these speakering adapters by Scosche. I'll also post in the description that part number so you can pick those up. But that essentially will make it fit in the factory location. We have an Alpine Type S component speaker, and we're going to use that as our replacement. And this, since it's a component, we're also replacing the tweeter up here as well. We'll get to that here in a moment. This line isn't filtered at all. There's no crossover on it, so if you ended up just putting a full range speaker here in this location, that would be fine too. Okay, so we've cut the harness and stripped both ends to just use butt connectors. You're welcome to solder. You're also welcome to use anything that may be more so waterproof, because this interior panel may see moisture. But the positive is yellow, and then negative is yellow with the black stripe. This speaker harness came with the speaker, and we just plugged that into the back and then crimped in those wires so it's all one piece. Now this is just going to all tuck down inside, just like so. Now if you notice, I've rolled down the window, and this will allow me to make sure that the window or the track doesn't get in the way of the magnet, because this magnet is much bigger than the factory one. So that's in there. We're going to go ahead and get the screw in. We'll do a quick test to make sure it works. Okay, so door panel is all back on, just in reverse order. It can get a little tricky around this, just because this actually sits behind this panel, so you can't really take this off. So you have to kind of like work it around this little port, because it can get a little tight. As for the top along the edge, you got to make sure that the little pins actually grab the metal door panel along the top, because it clips onto the metal door. Other than that, you just pop the clips all back in and then replace all the screws, and that's about it. everything's all back in, good to go. So now we're going to transition over to the A-pillar. This A-pillar, generally they have clips at the bottom, and then it should lay down to pull out because it just clips in the top here of the dash. It's going to expose the factory tweeter. We're going to unplug that and install our new Alpine tweeter in its location. Now to get this started, again, panel tools are great because they can actually get in here and pop. And when you do, there's going to be a clip right there at the beginning and a clip kind of down in the middle. And at that point, kind of wiggle it loose. And then you have to disconnect this guy that's kind of holding everything on. And then you're going to have the harness there, so disconnect your harness, and then we're going to replace that tweeter. Okay, so we unplugged the tweeter. And this is what it looks like on the back end. Just harness. And then at this point, we're going to pull this factory tweeter out from the housing and install our new tweeter in its location. Okay, so we went ahead and cut that harness off. It's the same color as the door. Black with the yellow with the black stripe is negative, and the just solid yellow is positive. This is what we've done to make this all work out. Now we popped the factory tweeter out, and it left that housing. Now that housing was just the right size for an aftermarket Alpine tweeter. It doesn't clip in, but it fits inside. And what we've done here is put a little bit of hot glue around the outsides. And that hot glue can be picked away and the tweeter removed, so it's not necessarily permanent, but it'll hold it in place. And then here's our passive crossover, and we put it up a little bit higher so we can use this brace kind of as some support to hold that in there. It's nice and snug. And then this will plug directly into that line out right there. So we're going to get that hooked up and get the A-pillar back in. Okay, so we got our tweeter in. Now at this point, we're just going to pop this back in. We got to make sure we reconnect that little center harness. Other than that, we're about there. That's about it for the install. If you have any questions about what we've done here today, just go ahead and post a comment below. Hopefully this is an install that's easy enough for you to do at home. I try to make it that way just so you can see step-by-step instructions. Thanks again, guys, for watching the channel. We appreciate the support. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe down below, and we will see you in the next video. Have a great day.